Think back to the time when you first started making music. You were burning with inspiration and every track felt like a new opportunity, a new challenge to learn and improve. You probably didn't care that much how your music sounded, because you were a beginner, so of course it will sound not that great. You were just making music for the sake of making music, because you loved it. And you probably had infinite inspiration and creative ideas. And if you were like me, you thought that that would just last forever. But that was sadly not the case. As time went on and on, as you learned more about music production and you made more songs, that creative energy kind of just faded away. So what can we do to bring back that creative energy? There are a few things that people just get wrong about creativity. We think that creativity is that mysterious power that some people have and others just don't, that just comes and goes as it pleases. But that is not really the case. I think that creativity is much more like a skill and not really a talent, and with any skill you can practice it. In this video I want to give you a few tips how you can improve your creativity so you can make better songs once again. So the first important thing that you need to know about creativity is that whenever you want to create something, so put out in the world, first you need to have a lot of input. So here is where people kind of say, listen to a lot of music. And I completely agree with that. I think listening to a lot of different genres, a lot of different artists is extremely important. But it's not everything. Imagine your creativity as an engine, and that engine needs fuel to run. So that fuel can be creativity, yes, but it can also be movies, video games, the books you read, artworks, and even your personal experiences, like traveling to places, picking up new hobbies, and meeting people. So I want to encourage you to try new things. Maybe read that book you have always wanted to read, or travel to that place that you always wanted to visit. Because at the end of the day, these things are very important. Not just for your music, but also for yourself. And when you sit down and you want to create anything, you can actually have something that you want to express. Because whenever we create as artists, we want to express something. And it's really hard to express anything if you don't have experiences. But getting out there and getting all those experiences doesn't really translate in songwriting skills. It doesn't help you to make better music. So the way you can actually improve that is by improving your songwriting skills. So the core element of almost every song is the chord progression and the melody. Without that, the song falls apart. So that is what I want you to focus on to write better chords and melodies. And the best way you can do that is to pick up playing the piano. So I know you might say, well, learning an instrument is really hard and annoying, I don't really want to do that. I just rather use the piano roll. And just bear with me for a minute, because I will explain to you all the benefits this has. So when you learn an instrument, it really doesn't have to be anything expensive. Just buy like a $200 MIDI keyboard and start learning some songs. From YouTube, there are like a lot of kind of synthesia tutorials which are super easy to follow, and just pick out your favorite songs and start practicing them. And I will promise you that it will actually be kind of fun. And what you will kind of notice over time as you learn more and more songs is that all these melodies, all this chord progression you have learned will be ingrained in your muscle memory, because you're actually playing something with your hands. And when you sit down again in the studio and you want to create something, you're like in a sad mood and you're saying, oh, I want to create a sad chord progression with a sad melody, then you will actually kind of almost subconsciously think back to the time when you practiced some sad songs, and you will be much easier for you to come up with like a sad melody or something like that. So that really works, and I think you can also do it with the piano roll, but that way you just have to kind of always analyze like the chords, and you will have to think, yeah, okay, what chords comes there. And what I like about the piano is it's very fast to come up with new ideas. So now we have kind of covered that you need a lot of external input for your creativity, as well as you need to practice your songwriting skills, which sets us up for a really good basis for you to create amazing songs. But we are still missing one crucial piece of information. And if you don't know this, then that can cause you a lot of suffering down the line. And that is that you just won't always create your best songs. And if you know this, then that kind of lifts a lot of weight off your shoulders. Because now you're not going into the studio thinking, oh, I have to make the best song ever. If I don't make a good song today, then this time will be wasted, this day will be wasted, I'm a failure. You're just going in with a light heart thinking, okay, let's try some things out, and if they work, that's awesome. If it didn't work, well, that can happen, but it is what it is. And that way you are always kind of in that playful mindset when you don't really care about things, and that allows you actually to get inspired and create actually something you really like. On that note, this also busts the myth of inspiration. Because whether you're inspired or not, that doesn't equal a great songs. Like, I have created great songs when I felt super inspired, but I have also created great songs when I was just not inspired at all and messing around in FL Studio and see what I can come up with. And that is really freeing, because you are no longer dependent on that rush of inspiration. Because if you're always waiting to get inspired to create anything, then subsequently you will just never really get inspired, and you will just wait around, wasting your days waiting for that inspiration to come and not accomplish anything. So what I want you to do is sit down just 3 or 4 times a week in front of your DAW and create anything at all. Doesn't matter what, for 1 hour. Just say, I'm gonna explore the software, explore some synths, and see what I can come up with. And I promise you, if you do this regularly and implement also the other tips I've given you before, you will see a lot of improvement in your creativity, and you will just be able to create better songs, hopefully. I hope you enjoyed the video and that I could bring any value to you with these tips. If you would like to see more of this type of content in the future, then don't forget to subscribe and like. Thank you all so much for watching, and until next time.